I have jumped on the Fuji hype train. I want to tell you exactly why this Fuji hype train exists, because it's not because of TikTok, it's not because of influencers. There's a very real reason why Fuji are absolutely killing it in photography, and I'm embarrassed to admit the reason because it is partly why it is why I bought Fuji, but let's look into this. Fuji have two main cameras in my eyes. They've got their medium format offering and the X100V, the street photography offering. That was so sold out you couldn't get one. Like, secondhand prices were more than new. It was made popular by TikTok in a way, but that is not why these cameras are popular. The GFX 100 is very popular amongst us commercial photographers, and it is for the same reason that the Fuji 100V street camera is. It's the same reason. It's the same thing, and it comes down to our basic needs. I, as a person, I like to think I'm above all of this. I like to think I'm a little bit smarter than this. But there's two cameras in this world that I want. Two cameras. One is a Hasselblad 500 with a digital back on it. Beautiful, nice chrome curves. Ooh. And the other is a Leica M6. They're the two dream cameras I have. I own neither of those cameras. Neither. Because I'm a business. But I own neither of them. Now, I'd love to have both of them, and if I was a hobbyist, I would go and buy them. I just bought an outrageously stupid car because I don't drive for a living. If I drove for a living and I was doing, say, Uber, I'd go and get a Prius because that is the car for the job. But I've bought an 18 miles per gallon Mercedes because it's old, it looks cool, it's highly impractical, and it's definitely not something I'd recommend anyone does unless they want to empty their wallets at the petrol station. But it's what I wanted, and that's my personal life. This is my business. This is where we make money to do stupid things at home. Many stupid things. I want to shoot all of my work on a Hasselblad with a Phase 1 back. I know, don't get at me, the Phase 1 backs is better than Hasselblad ones, but I want to have a 150 megapixel Phase 1 back, an old Hasselblad waist level viewfinder. That's what I want. It's a bit spendy. It's a lot impractical. It doesn't make financial sense. But that Fuji GFX, that scratches that itch. It's medium format-ish. I mean, I'm kidding myself. It's not medium format. You know, it's bigger than full frame. It's not a medium format camera. But it does it. You know, I want a Leica M6. I can't use a Leica M6 for my, behind the scenes shots. That's ludicrous. I need a silent camera. It needs to be small. We'll get a Fuji X100V. Both of these cameras are not dream destination cameras. I don't think many people wake up and go, my dream is to own a Fuji GFX 100 unless they've never used a proper Hasselblad. You know, Phase 1 cameras are better than Hasselblads, but Hasselblads are ka-chunk, bang. Oh. They're good. It's what you want. Could you imagine I turn up in my old Mercedes with my Hasselblad, my Leica? That'd be winning at life. But no, I'm a sensible person at work, not outside of work. Outside of work, I'm wholly irresponsible. And I have to use sensible equipment. And Fuji, the genius that they are, have made the most sensible, cost-effective kit. An X100V is infinitely cheaper than going into the Leica M6 system plus the film, or the Leica M10 digital. Infinitely cheaper, and it's nearly as good, and it looks nice, and it looks like them. The Fuji GFX system is infinitely cheaper than me buying some ludicrous 150 megapixel phase back Hasselblad Zeiss optics and spares because they'll need breakage and CLA's doing to them because they're old and all the rest of it. Infinitely cheaper, more practical, and it looks good. And they are geniuses for doing this. They've made people like me be able to pretend we're getting what we want while still, keeping our accountants happy. Of course, I could go and buy all the kit I really dream of owning, and one day I will do, but it will be not for work. I don't want to work with that. But from a business point of view, Fuji ticks the boxes. They scratch the itch, they give you better image quality, and they're cheap. Cheap being relative, of course, none of those cameras are cheap, but Hasselblad and Leica, yeah, they're cheaper than that. And it's such a clever thing to do. You don't feel like you're compromising. If your dream camera is a Hasselblad and you buy a Canon 5DSR, which is what I had before, it's not the same thing. At least I'm kind of pretending I'm medium formatting my way up there. X100 is not a Leica, but it's still got an optical view. It's not even a rangefinder, for God's sake, but it still feels that way. It feels like you're, Winograd out on the streets, but it's not. And I think that is brilliant. And I'm a big believer in having nearlies, having kind ofs. Like, you don't need to spend all the money on the perfect thing, the best thing, the top of the line thing. I wanted, for my broncolor kit, I wanted the bigger packs with the multiple ports, and I wanted the more expensive heads with the zoom functionality on them. But the price difference doesn't make sense. It's all business related things. And certain products are just very well designed for the business of photography, and Fuji have nailed it. Next week, I'm going to show you how I've bought a Hasselblad and a Leica. See you soon. Bye-bye.